Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's wonderful to be here again today. Um, I hope that you doing well, all of you. That winter is not there yet, even though it feels like it a little bit. Um, I have a very interesting topic today, very thought provoking. And also, I would like to share my perspective and encourage um, men to own their manhood and to not be afraid of being judged. And in this video, we're gonna talk about main reasons why mature men, as of words, older men, have more chances with feminine women. Feminine women, basically of all nationalities. Of course, on this channel, we mostly talk about women from Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, I don't know, Belarus, Slavic women, but um, all around the world, we have women who tend to be feminine and men who still tend to be masculine. And so, what are these traits that help men, traditional men, to be more successful in relationship with truly feminine women? Um, I was thinking today about this topic, but honestly, I was thinking about this topic for quite some time. It was a long time coming, and I really would love to have a great discussion with you guys. So, the first thing that ever came to my mind about this was the traditional way of how mature men, men who are in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s, were raised. I think, I believe that the impact you get while you're growing up during your childhood really stays with you for your entire life. It's really have a very big influence the way you grow up, the environment, the family dynamics. And I feel and I observed that mature men have a lot less gender confusion, gender roles confusion. Um, they have leadership installed in them that wish to protect, provide, and be a leader just naturally. It's not about toxic masculinity. It's not about being dominant and suppressing the other person. It's a natural instinct of leading, providing, taking care of things, and being raised by traditional women, in the most cases, had that impact. And so this is one of the main reasons why older, mature men will have less problems in the relationship with feminine women, regardless if they are Slavic, Ukrainian, if they're American, if they're Italian. These are universal, truly universal dynamics, and uh, the good environment for this dynamic happens when two people, men, a man and a woman, really knows their role, really know their role, and they're comfortable with it. They don't want to be that. They don't want it to be any other way. That's how they were raised. That's what feels good to them, and it works. One of the reason people, younger generation of men, is very confused because in some ways they want a traditional woman, but they cannot provide a traditional lifestyle. So they a lot of times, I'm not saying that's all younger men, but I can tell you from the clients I've been working with, some of the younger men think that they would love to get all the benefits of having a traditional wife, but they are not ready to provide and protect and do things on the same level that mature men are. So that is something to think about. Maybe you need a couple more, 5, 7 more years to come to that point where you are ready and you want to do those things. You want to be in your masculine role. You not expecting for the woman to hold your hand, because another downside sometimes of too caring, the mothers that care too much, is that men kind of looking for that mother in a woman. And care is wonderful, but you really don't want to be in a relationship with a mother. You want to be in a relationship with a woman that maybe in some very inspiring ways reminds you of the woman you loved first, which is your mother, but she's not giving out the mother energy, because it's just not it's not a healthy one, at least for the beginning and for developing the relationship. I think when you're older, when you're both older, yeah, you'll need a little bit of that to take care of, and talk about the uh, medical issues and so forth. But we're talking about real, real dynamics and real relationships. So my first and main point, I believe it's a lot easier for mature men to understand their role, to feel natural with it, to just not even needing anybody to guide them, because that's what they observed, and that's that what they are trying to recreate. But it's extremely difficult to recreate it right now, because the gender role confusion, I think, highest it's ever been at this moment. So therefore, these men are looking for a feminine lady, and they have a lot more chances, once again, because it does come naturally to them. So if you did not grow up in that kind of household or dynamics, it's a good idea to learn. It's a very good idea to learn and observe, and maybe before you sign for something, if you just in the beginning of your journey, maybe you should wait a little bit and observe and see if you can be that man that is a leader and provider. So that is one of the most important points why um, feminine women feel very comfortable with traditionally raised men. It just makes it so much easier, because you don't need to explain, you don't need to bring different examples. The door gets open, the manners, the good manners and etiquette is a lot of times installed. At least I feel this way, that with many traditionally raised men, that they have that etiquette installed in them. It's not just, okay, we are on a date, so I'm gonna pretend I open the door and pull out the chair and being a gentleman. So deep appreciation for these manners and knowing etiquette for you guys. Whether you were raised this way or you learned it yourself, we appreciate this no matter what. So number two, or second point in this video, it would be about um, communication. Communication and time wasting. The problem with the younger men right now is that they completely consumed with social media, and they try to communicate everything through the texting, messaging, and doing all kinds of things, instead of actually getting out there, getting that lady on a date and doing something. A lot of times they do things that do not bring value. For example, bombarding with the messages, um, not having a meaningful communication, having poor vocabulary. For example, there are very few mature men, classy men that would say, "Hey, how are you?" or "What's up?" I believe, at least in my experience, most men who were raised well, they, even with the kind of shallow style communication that's popular right now, they would usually say your name. They would usually put the right content in the message. They would not just send you a message for the sake of interrupting you or trying to get your attention. That message will have some value or something inspiring. Most of all, this message probably would be with something concrete about meeting tonight or having some plans for the future or whatever it is. But it will be very well put together. It would have good spelling, and it is very interesting because, um, as my son calls me, a foreigner, even though I don't consider myself no longer a foreigner, but it's just our joke. Uh, it is very disappointing to see uh, how little effort people anymore put even when they send a message or a text. There would be a bunch of mistakes, autocorrect, there would be no commas, and it would be just so as if written so poorly as if 5-year old or 7-year old wrote it. And that is yet again something rare to see with a mature man. And Russian and Ukrainian women, since we talk mostly about Slavic women, really appreciate good grammar. And if you take into consideration that that is our second, third, or fourth language, and we can write better than you, it's just not attractive, it's not cute, and it's kind of repelling. So we all have our faults, but once again, men who were raised a little earlier, in some early decades, they know how to write, they know how to be respectful of somebody's time, of ladies' time. They don't hope that you will reply right away, and so they don't want to keep you all day in the messages. They understand the boundaries, and the most important when it comes to communication, they are okay with picking up the phone and stand out compared to all the other guys that send, often even send generic messages to the ladies. Women can feel these things so well, even on the subconscious level. So if you are trying to improve, consider this. Communication is very important. And when you have a foreign girlfriend or fiance and she writes better than you, there is a problem. When you are consistently in her messages, on her phone, in her email, everywhere, it's a problem. Learning how to be content, waiting for the appropriate time to talk, to connect, knowing when there is appropriate to have a serious conversation, when there is a good time to have a deep conversation or have a discussion about future plans. That's also something that mature men are very good with. So please consider that as well. I truly hope that these tips will help you if you struggle and you don't understand. How is that I am, let's say you are, let's just say 30 years old, you got some things together already, you have never been married, you really want to do it right to begin with, and your communication doesn't go anywhere further from flirt or dating, but she's not committing, or she's the one that's not committing. Usually there is a problem with a man, but she's not responding and she's losing interest. That is one of the reasons why. And the last one, at least for these videos, the last point I would like to make is mature men seem to realize the true impact of the right woman in their life. They understand that having the right woman in their life is more than just having intimacy. It's more than have a companion. It's more than have somebody who waits for you at home if she is staying at home. It's a lot more than that. And those of you guys who who are that who is demographic of these mature men, please comment about. Let's discuss that further. I hope, and I do know actually, that you understand exactly what I mean. There is a lot more for a man to be with the right woman than just having all these things to put check marks on. The real mature man that's been through life, been through pain, been through loss, been through the tough world challenges, knows in his heart what kind of impact the right lady, the feminine lady, brings into his life. It is more than I could tell you, because these are the things that are installed deep inside. That is an inner motivation, inner drive, inner appreciation, the deep connection with the other person. Men who reach about that age of 50, if they live their life right, they are basically becoming the guys that the men we had dreamed about when you guys were 20. We wanted you to be 20, but having wisdom, appreciation, and impact on our life as you can have now at 50 plus, let's say. So a lot of people, a lot of men also, worrying about their age, and we all have certain amount of time on this planet, so that's reasonable. There is nothing wrong with trying to organize your life and having certain experiences and stages when is a good time to have them, while you can have them. But if you're doing it right, you can have a tremendous power and be very successful building a relationship with feminine women, just by stepping into your manhood and doing what your main instincts tell you to do, what's your leading instincts, your leading power that had already been there, and it's guiding you. It's guiding you, and it guides people who are with you, like your family. So these are the main points why mature men can succeed. I do have videos kind of warning you about the age gap, about the asking for trouble when it's too big, about women that just do not want you. Not all the women are attracted to older men. Not all women are even considering that, but those who are can benefit greatly if you just acknowledge and act accordingly. Acknowledge your experience, your maturity, physical, emotional, mental, and step into it with a full power. And young men who are listening in this video, please, please, please listen attentively. Maybe reconsider some of your behavior, especially when it comes to communication, proper communication, good manners, etiquette, and the least but not the last, the way you treat your lady, and your awareness and appreciation of the impact what she that she brings into your life. If you have any experience, even if you're younger, you should know what I'm talking about. But I will consider make a video about the impact because I'm afraid that a lot of people will not understand. Which is another thing mature men are good at, is reading between the lines. So with that being said, I'm waiting to hear from you. Thank you so very much. If you want to join any of my networks, please comment under the video as we form in our new groups. And if you would like to support me on Patreon, you're welcome to do that as well. I will put all my links under the video. Thank you so much.